بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولينظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. صدق الله العظيم. Surah Al-ख़ashr. Like last week in the Khutbah, this time, inshallah, we're going to look at the Ayah 18. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is saying, "Oh, who you believe." Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is addressing us. "Oh, who you believe. Fear Allah. Fear Allah, and let every soul look what it has sent forth for tomorrow. What it has sent forth for tomorrow. And fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is all aware of what you do." So with a pure iman, we need to fear when we do something or when we don't do something. We need to fear Allah. We need to not do something because we fear Allah. We leave that because we fear Allah. And we do something because if we don't do it, we'll be punished. So we need to fear Allah. Either way. So we need to be obedient to Him so that we stay away from being rebellious to Allah. And then we need to be appreciative of all the ni'mas, all the blessings that He has given us, so that we will be protected from being ungrateful to Him. And then our mouths all has to be wet from doing the dhikr of Allah, so we don't ever forget Him. Dhikr of Allah, so we don't ever forget Him. And then in the ayah it's mentioned that tomorrow, for tomorrow, and tomorrow, akhirah, afterlife is like tomorrow. How about somebody heedless? Somebody doesn't care. They spend their day, they don't do any tafakkur, they don't think about what they have done, heedlessly, unaware, they go to sleep, wake up in the morning. That's what's going to happen when they die. They're just going to go heedlessly, go to sleep, die, and then they will be resurrected in the judgment day. How sad. How sad. That they didn't think before they went to sleep. They didn't think before they died. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is reminding that death is like going to sleep and waking up every night. So what if we die today? What have we prepared for tomorrow, for afterlife? And then fear Allah is repeated twice. The first one is fear Allah and let every soul look what it has sent for tomorrow. Every soul, nafsun. And it includes ins and jinn, human beings and jinn. If there's any jinn, believing jinn among us, inshallah there is, they are subject to this ayah also. What do they do for themselves, for their tomorrow? So the first fear of Allah, to prepare things for tomorrow, all the four mandatory things that Allah Jalla Jalaluhu wants us to do, they are not limited to 5 times a day. If you get together with your wife, you have to do ghusl. That's fard. You have to come to Jummah. That's fard. That's mandatory. Not just 5 times a day. So that increases in numbers. So fear Allah and do what is mandatory, what's wajib. And then in the second part, fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is all aware of what you do. So stay away from things that He does not want you to do. Stay away from things that if you think Allah will see you, you'll be embarrassed. Stay away from them. Fear Allah. The first part, the second part. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is repeating it twice. Fear Allah. And then, we need to have, in order to do that, taqwa. Taqwa is something that you stay away from things that either if you do it or if you don't do it, you transgress against Allah. Either you do it or you don't do it, you transgress against Allah. If you stay away from those things, what do you become? Muttaqi, somebody who has taqwa. Where is taqwa? In the heart. In the heart. How do we see taqwa? How do we see what's in our heart? We will never know in this lifetime the real composition of taqwa. But if you're performing deeds and in your heart you started feeling certain things, if there's things that is being uplifted when you do it, and it kind of makes you sad if you don't do it, and then you become more embarrassed. You become more embarrassed. That's how you kind of gauge if you are on the way to become a taqwa. And Ahli Taqwa, what do? They know that Allah's eyes are on His heart always. Not on His phone, but on His heart. Heart. Allah's eyes are always on somebody's heart. How can we be sure, even though Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is saying in the ayah that indeed Allah is all aware of what you do, all the time. So, who is He addressing? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. People who believe. So, people who believe, their sign is what? Fear of Allah. Fear of Allah. That's the sign of a believer. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is addressing the people who are believers. So even though somebody is a believer and has fear, they need to look what they have prepared for tomorrow. So if they have that thought in their heart, what have I done? What have I prepared for tomorrow? Then it changes all their outlook of life and death. What have I prepared for tomorrow? What have I prepared for afterlife? So, what do you start to do? You start to look at your deficiencies. When you look at your deeds, you look at your deficiencies. You look at your weaknesses. And you try to find ways to strengthen. When you get angry in the bottom, in what you don't see, you are becoming an animal of what? A dog. And when you see that, at the end of the day, or before you do your salah, when you're gonna go to in front of Allah, when you see that anger, when you see that dog barking, you see your deficiency, and what are you gonna do about it? You seek help of Allah. You look at your heart. Do you want to be like that? No. But You seek your deficiencies so that you will find a way to correct them. And once the heart is touched by that thought, always that, okay, what have I prepared for tomorrow? What have I prepared for tomorrow? That heart becomes so aware that that heart cannot even sleep. Sleep of worry. Always going through what you're doing. So, the fear of Allah is the guard for our heart. Fear of Allah is the guard that guards that heart. And that fear turns into taqwa because you fear, and then you start doing things that Allah wants you to do. You learn more about it. Okay, when we look at believers these days, their lifestyle, most people, they don't reflect that they do that accountability as often that they're supposed to. Why? Because they hang out with people that are no good for them. No good for them. So, what are you preparing for tomorrow if you hang out with people like that? And you stay away from people that remind you of Allah, awliyaullah. How do you categorize somebody if that person is awliya or not, or wali? If you see that person, if they remind you of Allah, then they pass the test. Because when you see them, they're going to take you to do something good, because they do it themselves. But no, you want to hang out with other people. So the thought of Allah, the love of Allah leaves heart. And that empty void is filled with the love of this world. Empty deeds that they don't end up benefiting us tomorrow. So that fear helps you distinguish between right and wrong. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that work for this world as long as you're going to stay here. Work for this world as long as you're going to stay here. Let's have a conscious thought how long we're going to stay here. Everybody's at a different age. They can kind of estimate from their ancestry. Of course, Allah knows when we're going to die. But you can kind of estimate how long you're going to live, how many years you have left. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that work for this world as long as you're going to stay here. Work for your afterlife as long as you're going to stay there. Well, it's eternal. So how should be the balance? Work for dunya, work for akhirah. And then he says, however much you need Allah, work for Him that much. If you don't need Him, don't work for Him. If you need Him, little bit, work for a little bit. Well, we all know, ayyuhalladhina amanu, we know we need Allah a lot. A lot. So, we need to work for Him a lot. And then, work for Jahannam as long as you can endure it. Work for fire as long as you can endure it. Turn on your stove, put your hand in it, let's see how long you can endure that. And then work for Jahannam as long as you can endure it. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying in another hadith that, indeed, without a doubt, I hope that I will be the one that fears Allah the most among yourselves and knows His boundaries the best. Of course. But this is for us. He wants to be the one that fears Allah the most. Was he given the good tidings of Jannah? Yes. But at that level, You seek the pleasure of Allah. His absence or him turning away is as worse as anything else you can do. That's the maqam of love. It's a different level. In the Surah Al-ख़ashr, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is saying that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءُ. Beautiful. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is saying that only those who have knowledge of Allah fear Allah. Ulama. Ilm will make us fear Allah. How? Let's have some ilm. We wake up in the morning. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, when you wake up in the morning, you know that at night, shaitan ties 3 ties in your heart. You need to untie them. You recite the name of Allah, one is untied, you do your wudu, and then you do your salat, all ties are untied. Bismillah. Okay. When you wake up in the morning, there's 2 katib. They sit in their chair, they lick their pen, they're ready to write your deeds. Do we ever think about that? Knowledge, we know that, but do we think about it? Do we remind ourselves in the morning when we wake up, here is a blank page for both sides, and we need to remind ourselves that there's only 2 ways we can speak and do a deed, good or bad. There's no third way, there's no neutral deed or a word, right? Either right one or right one. This one writes the good deeds, good words. This one writes the bad words, bad deeds. So, we woke up, we thought about, okay, whatever I do now will be recorded, will be categorized into good or bad. Now I need to think about it. Okay? Allah, wherever you are, He is with you. Okay? That's another aspect of my existence. Wherever I am, He is with me. He says that. And now I know there's 2 katib waiting to write my deeds and my words. And when I do my salah, when I turn my head after I finish my salah, what do I say? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I look at it. I look at this one and then I go, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And then when I finish it, I turn to Allah and say, Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam. Salam, you are salam, and salam is from you. Peace, you are peace, and peace is from you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he finishes a salah, even if it's a sunnah, he would not get up until he says that. Of course, there's a hikmah, wisdom behind it. Doesn't he say that when you're doing your prayers, act like you are seeing Allah? That's called ihsan. So we need to be reminded in the morning that we are preparing for a beautiful new day to prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow. They are going to write, okay, how do these writers know what is good, what is bad? According to who? How do they know that? Okay, Allah is always looking at our heart. Niyyah, intention, determines the deed. Okay? So there's 2 intentions it could be. One is divine, one is dunya. If somebody has an intention to do a deed to please Allah, who is his helper? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's what Iman is. Every deed is carefully planned in the heart with an intention. Not heedlessly, let's just keep spending the day. Let me just go to work, make money. Well, before you go to work, oh Allah, I'm going to work to earn my rizq so I can sustain my existence, so I can please you. That is the intention. Let me make more money, more money, more money, more money. Have we ever thought about what money is that going to bring to you if that is the intention in the heart? Intention, niyyah in the heart. What is the niyyah in the heart? That determines for them to write which side. Sometimes the niyyah is good, it ends up not so good according to us. Sometimes it turns out good, you never know. But your niyyah determines which side it's recorded. According to what? Sharia. What most people seem to not like these days. Oh, they're going to bring Sharia. Well, you're going to be judged by it. All your deeds are written according to the laws of Allah. Why don't you like it? Does the system change for you? Does it matter what you think? Ilm, knowledge. Gather knowledge for what Allah says, what His rules are. And then you can change your behavior according to Sharia. This is saying for Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. People who believe, people who don't believe, do whatever you want. You don't have fear of Allah anyway. If you don't like His rules, can you like Him? Why don't you reverse what you're saying? I don't like Sharia. I like government to be different than what? Religion. Well, how is that possible? You're going to be judged by it. You're voting for it. The person you're voting for, whatever they make a decision and implicate it, you're going to be implicated with that person. Go vote for whoever you want. You'll be accountable for everything that person does. All these voter drives and everything, and go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. Did you ask Allah? Do you know what happens when you vote? Ilm, knowledge, gather knowledge before you do something, because you'll be judged by it. Don't be heedless. Don't go to sleep before you think, what have I done today? Have I gathered something that I will take with you? What you leave here after you die doesn't matter. Your inheritance will inherit whatever you leave. Surah Al-Bayyinah, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is saying that, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, their reward with Allah will be gardens of perpetual residence beneath which rivers flow, wherein they will abide forever. Allah being pleased with them and they with Him. That is for whoever has feared his Rabb. For whoever has feared Allah. He's promising Jannah for people who fear Allah. How can you fear Allah if you don't have knowledge of Him and understanding of Him? Ma'rifah. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the hadith is saying that in the Yawm al-Qiyamah, in the judgment day, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is going to gather up everybody, and then He's going to address them with a voice that everybody will hear with the same strength. And then he's going to say, Ya ayyuhan nas. O people, I was quiet until I created you until now. I listened to you. I was quiet. Now you be quiet and listen to me. That's what Allah is going to say. Now, return for your deeds will be given to you. Your return, your reward or punishment. I have established brotherhood among yourselves based on Islam. Did you maintain it? Or you established some other kind of brotherhoods? Brotherhoods. Not based on Islam. And then I established nobility based on taqwa. Did you value people based on their taqwa or based on if they're fun or not when you hang out with them? Most favored by me now is who are muttaqeen, ahli taqwa. They feared Allah and they stayed away from things and they did the things that pleased Allah. Now, I'm going to lower all the nobility you established. I'm going to establish my nobility. He's going to say, where are the muttaqeen? Where are the people who fear Allah? Gather them. Here is a banner. Line up behind him and go to Jannah directly, without hisab.